So, and this has been kind of a crazy year, this whole 2020, the pandemic and all of these things, but nothing can really give us a clearer picture of how much options for women really is needed. And this under the leadership of Lori Letourneau. And so let me just say a few things. With the leadership of Lori Letourneau, families have not had to struggle alone. And everyone knows that Lori is courageous. She's persistent. She's meticulous. And she studies a situation carefully, and then she acts, and then she moves forward. And she doesn't ask anyone else to do anything that she wouldn't be willing to do herself. She's got tons and tons of energy, and she believes everyone deserves a chance to thrive, even when they find themselves in the toughest of situations, which is what Options for Women is really all about. In her personal life, she looks to Jesus, and Jesus is her everything. And this faith fuels her desire, her care for each person, and and she treats everybody like they are the most important person in the world. Not everybody's got that gift, by the way, that somebody can come in and that you can actually care for somebody as if their problems are new and important and worthy of care. It's a gift. I also want you to know how respected, I've always been so impressed by this, how respected Lori is by the people that she works with. Many of these people they're not getting a paycheck, of course, and they're volunteering their time, and yet they just speak the world of Lori. They respect her. I respect her. Will you please welcome to the stage, for real, Lori Letourneau.
You're going to be sick of me by the end of the night. Thank you for those kind words, Peter. So tonight we're doing things a little different. This portion of the evening will be recorded and will be posted on our supporter website this week. So we needed a formal introduction. Thank you for that. 2020 has been an interesting year. As a nonprofit organization governed by a board of directors and as a business in the state of Minnesota, we were actually given the opportunity to evaluate our services and our mission and determine whether or not we were an essential business. I can tell you that without question, our board of directors, our medical directors, and myself determined that we are providing essential services to an underserved, vulnerable, and an at-risk population. We're privileged that our supporters have stayed with us and have continued to give and even sent thank you cards and words of encouragement to say, we're behind you, you've got this, thanks for staying open and for doing what you're doing. We saw a 25% increase in demand for parenting and prenatal and supportive education services and material support during shelter in place. And I can tell you that our staff and our volunteers stepped up to meet that need. We actually did the impossible, and we increased our hours and our staffing by 25% during a pandemic. So thank you to everybody who works and serves at Options for your dedication and your commitment, and thank you to our stakeholders for being there with us. The point was drilled home for me. Just a couple weeks ago, I received a phone call from a colleague who directs an organization in town, and they provide a variety of services to the same at-risk population that we work with. They had to close their doors. We didn't. And she said, Lori, I anticipated our phone would be ringing off the hook because we know the need is great. And she said it got eerily quiet. We didn't know what was going on. We knew the need was there. We didn't know where people were going. She said after several months of being closed down, she was finally able to get back into her office and she started making phone calls. She said, you know what I found out? They're going to you. She said, yes, that's worth clapping for. She said they all knew about you, they're receiving your services, and they all had glowing things to say about your organization. So she called me to say thank you for remaining open and for doing what we do to serve those in our community who need us. So we didn't know what 2020 was going to bring, but God did. Last October, we were equipped with everything that we needed, so when the pandemic hit, we were able to transition to offer online services for parenting education. But we know at Options Mankato that real change, true change, happens through the conduit of relationship. And so while we've been able to provide online services, we know that we need to have that connection with the people we're serving. So we made the commitment to schedule a follow-up phone call or online Zoom appointment with every client for every online lesson that they complete. We're using a program that many organizations around the country have transitioned to, and when they ran their numbers during March, April, and May, we also ran our numbers, and what we found was that our client engagement and our client follow-through was almost double the national average because we are investing in relationship, we're investing in people, and we're not investing in just simply numbers. That point was illustrated for us one day. I'll never forget the day. Our volunteers were working remotely, and there was just a few essential staff at the center, and we heard a knock at the door. We went to the door and answered it, and there standing at the door to our center was a young woman holding her baby swaddled in her arms. This was a young woman we had journeyed with through a decision to parent. We had prepared her for a healthy pregnancy and labor and delivery with our education classes. She went into labor feeling confident that she could be a single parent without the support of the baby's father. But what she said was nothing could have prepared her to deliver alone under COVID circumstances, and nothing could have prepared her to go home alone with a baby. She walked into our center, held out her arms, and said, "Would you please hold my baby?" She said, "This is supposed to be a time of joy, and I am so alone. I need somebody to celebrate with me and to tell me that my baby's worth it, and this is a time of joy." The first time that happened, we were caught off guard, and let me tell you, it happened numerous times after that. We are here to journey with people, to be in relationship with people, and to make lasting change. Not everything can be accomplished online. It requires face-to-face services, meeting a client for the first time, hearing her story, running a pregnancy test and sharing options, discussing pregnancy options, introducing a woman to her baby for the first time through ultrasound, holding a newborn and celebrating the joy of life. These are things that can only happen face to face. So thank you for keeping our lights on and our doors open, because that's why we're here. Since January 1st of this year, we have provided numerous pregnancy tests, 13 pregnancy tests and 5 limited OB ultrasounds. We've also worked with 3 women who came in just to receive medically accurate, evidence-based information to make a pregnancy decision. She needed somebody objective to walk through the process with her. We were there for these individuals. We have provided 940 individual education lessons, over 820 essential baby care items, over 10,000 diapers this year alone, and we have celebrated 21 births in 2020. Options Mankato is dedicated to impacting one youth, one young adult at a time. I could tell you more stories, but I think the most effective way to deliver the message of what we do at Options Mankato is to let those individuals tell you for themselves. So we have some pre-recorded testimonials, And Kurt is going to help us by queuing those up. Please enjoy this first one. Kylie's mom, Carissa, and her teacher, Melissa, are actually here today. And I'm going to point them out and just give them a round of applause and thank them for sharing their story of impact with us. Thank you, ladies. This next testimonial is from a client at our center who is near and dear to my heart. I had the privilege of meeting with her the first time she came to our center for her pregnancy test, and we all have gotten to know her so well and journeyed alongside her. And I just have to tell you, it took courage for her to share the details of her story, and I just know that it's going to touch your hearts. Romance and Alex are here this evening, and I just want to thank you both for sharing your hearts and for trusting us with your story. Thank you for being so courageous and for gifting that to us. Romance came to Options for Women back in 2017 with specific questions, looking for specific answers, and what she found was hope, and what she found was a community of people that embraced her, met her where she was at, and were willing to walk with her through that journey. We've seen her embrace her new circumstances. We have seen her change her goals. We have seen her fight with a tenacity like no other. And I have no doubt that Romance is going to take her life story and she's going to change the world. The need hasn't gone away, so neither have we. Options Mankato is dedicated to providing essential services to those individuals in our community who are pregnant or parenting, who are underserved, who are vulnerable, and who are at risk. Going forward, it is our intention to add staff. We're looking to add a marketing specialist. We're currently updating our client-facing and our supporting website to really target those audiences and reach those individuals. Women in our community are making pregnancy decisions out of fear during very challenging and uncertain times right now, and it is our goal to not miss a single opportunity going forward, so we're going to bring a nurse manager on staff to make sure that we can do that. Options Mankato is also in the process of going through accreditation. It's my goal to stand before you next year at this time and say, we are a AAAHC accredited medical center, and our accreditation means that every service we provide is above reproach, and every service we provide is going to raise the bar and the standard for women's health care in this state. We're going to set a new standard for pregnancy medical clinics in the state of Minnesota.